If you are a dedicated EV fan and you're dedicated to BMW, you need to get yourself down to the local BMW dealer because there are some bargains on offer right at this moment in time. I'm Dave, this is Dave Takes It On, and I found a few just for you. Now, I'm sure most of you will be aware that on April the 1st, April Fool's Day, would you believe it or not, and the government is playing us for fools, there is a big change in vehicle excise duty, or vehicle tax as I call it, or they called it when I got my tax reminder through, or road tax as they call it when they're talking about salary sacrifice. You take your pick what they call it, but it goes up on April the 1st. And if you are a BMW fan, they have very lean pickings below the threshold of that, which is £40,000 for a new car. So after the 1st of April, if your car is over £40,000, you will be liable for this expensive car duty. And that will not be payable in the first year. It's paid from the second year onwards, but it's paid at the rate of £415 a year for a total of 5 years. If you want to beat that, you need to get your car bought before then and registered. If you do that, you not only beat the expensive car tax, you'll never ever pay it, but you'll also pay zero vehicle excise duty for the first year. After the 1st of April, it's £10. Big deal. Anyway, so we're down here, BMW. If you want to get a bargain, you need to get yourself down here because they are well aware of this and they are selling out of cars really quite fast. We've been talking with Scott here in Preston, and he is saying that there are some bargains, some deals to be had, but they don't always advertise them and they're not always available at all dealerships, although they do swap cars between dealers. So if you're in the market, if you want to save yourself a few £1,000s, then get yourself down here. There are two on offer at the moment. One is a loyalty scheme. So if you currently have a BMW of any sort, doesn't have to be an EV, then you get a loyalty bonus. That varies between models and garages, but that can be anything £2,000 or £3,000 just for being a loyal BMW customer. That's worth having. The second thing is they have another one running at the moment, which is designed to try and get you into a BMW and also to try and, thank you very much for the horn, and also to try and beat the 1st of April deadline. And that can be worth, thank you, and that can be worth anything up to £5,000. Typically though, 2, 3 or 4,000. So there's an awful lot of money on offer at the moment, and some of this on offer is available on a first come first served basis. So if you don't get down here, you might well miss it. Also, of course, they can swap cars between dealers, but that's only if the dealer that the car you want is at wants to swap it to this dealer, and if this dealer has something worth swapping to them. If that doesn't match up, you don't get the car and you don't get your bargain. So if you are interested and you want to beat this 1st of April deadline, get yourself down to your local BMW dealer. We came here with intention, not going through every model in the BMW range. We just picked on two of the most popular. One of those is the iX1. This is a big, tall SUV at the bottom end of the budget. The other is the i5, and that's a much more luxurious one. And this is a touring one, a bit more like an estate car, if you like. So looking at the iX1, first impression I got, very tall vehicle. I'm 6'3", I couldn't look over the top of it. So it's a big SUV, not hugely long, but nice and boxy and square, good and tall, good and wide. Lovely wide doors, lovely opening boot, space when you open the boot. There's a lot of space in this one. So first impressions, lovely space. Get inside it. I'm 6'3" with long legs, and I found loads of space inside it. Hit a bit of a snag. Well, for me personally, I'm a Tesla driver, I've been driving Teslas for 5 years. Manual seat adjustment. Now, might be a silly thing, because I have to say, in most houses, there's one main driver for the car. So you set your seat once, and once it's set, you don't adjust it on a regular basis. So may not be a big thing for most people, but to me, if you're hopping in and out of a car and your wife drives and kids teenage kids, 18, 20-year-olds drive it, and you're constantly changing it. Just be aware of it. So anyhow, got inside it, very comfortable, loads of headroom, lovely amount of space inside it, all the goodies you want, lovely display, driver display in front and everything, buttons everywhere, charging pads. It was a really nice experience, very well made, good quality, everything was comfortable, lovely display with loads of goodies on it. There was Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, just about everything you could need. So that was a really good experience in the front of the car. It let me down a bit when I went round the back to get in and sit in the back. And no word of a lie, I could not actually get in the back of the car. With the seat in my normal position, I couldn't get in the back of the car. Had about that much room and I couldn't get my foot in. So might not matter to some of the viewers who don't have very long legs and 6'3" body to deal with, but if you are a tall driver and you have teenage kids, this is not for you. I'm afraid to say there is just no room. But if you're 5'8", 5'10", and you have young teenage kids, this will do you very nicely indeed. The back is just as good as the front, very comfortable. When I pushed the seat forward and sat in it, it is actually very comfortable, plenty of headroom, nice bright vehicle. The boot again, manual again. It opens properly, but you actually have to close it manually. But a lovely big boot space. I actually thought, I think I might have said it, the back seats are a long way forward in the boot. They could have brought them back 6 inches and given me a bit more leg room for the teenage kids. I, by the way, don't have teenage kids. Mine are all grown up and their kids are getting to be all teenagers. But the quality, without a doubt, really nice car, solid car, and I can see why people do like BMWs, but check them out. I do say in all my videos, I don't drive them for you because your personal choice is more important than my choice telling you what to drive. But in the showroom, you should be sitting in them, you should be getting in the driver's seat, setting it where you want to drive it, and then get your kids to sit, if you've got any, to sit in the back and see how comfortable they are. And if they don't fit in, no matter how much you like BMWs, don't buy this car, don't lease this car, it's not for you. We moved on from there. We moved up a price bracket into the £70,000 price range for the iX5, and this was the Tourer. I think it was 71,000. We'll put the prices up separately for you. And this was a different kettle of fish altogether. Very much bigger car, very much sleeker. I could look over the roof on this one. Beautifully made, lovely quality car. Once again, when I sat in it, instantly noticed everything's electric now. The controls were on the seat, you could get the seat adjusted. I didn't find as many controls. I find it more difficult to get the seat into the perfect position. Bit of a niggle, but I did get a position that I found comfortable in the end. Anyway, once in it, it is very nice, very comfortable. But the one I sat in, it was a black car, black headlining, tinted windows. It was a very dark car inside, but amazingly comfortable. Display is superb, very responsive, lovely display, massive options on there. Again, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, everything you could wish for in a display for what they call infotainment these days. Everything's on there, very responsive, very intuitive, so you can find how to use most things. Apart from neither Jonas nor I could open up the charging flap. Anyway, we'll pass on that one. There must be a simple way of doing it. With the seat right back as far as it would go, which was my driving position, very comfortable, plenty of headroom, it was fine. Got out and straight away I could just get straight in the back. The back of the seat in front has a cutout in it. There was a load of leg room in it. A lot less foot room. Now, I'm strange, Jonas no doubt will pan down. I actually have size 14 feet. And no comments, please. You know what big shoes make? Big feet, yeah, all that. Anyway, I found that the foot room was a bit limiting because I couldn't tuck my feet underneath, but certainly knee room was plenty. Very comfortable, plenty of headroom. It was a much better experience. And then going round the back to the boot was now fully electrically controlled, and again, massive boot space, nice little cable, tidy, altogether a very different experience. I did ask Jonas when I set the seat right back, the driving seat right back, and I sat behind it. I don't normally sit behind my driving seat when I'm driving, so you know what I mean. But I did ask Jonas when I was sitting in the back seat whether he thought I had more or less leg room in this one than when he sits in my car in the back, and he said he thought that a BMW had slightly more leg room, but he doesn't often sit behind me. He leaves that to his wife, who is shorter than him. Quite logical. So my overall impression is they're superb quality cars. You'd not go wrong with any of them, as long as you do check, if you are a tall driver, that they do meet your needs for the back passengers in the back with their particular leg room and space availability. The quality is absolutely, without doubt, really good quality. They are very well engineered and superb cars. We have made a number of videos recently from Fastned sites where we've done the auto charge, and we find this fantastic. Every CPO should be using this, where you just plug in, it knows your car and everything else. And of course, being a Tesla driver, that's exactly what I do at every supercharger anyhow. Plug in, it knows the car, knows my payment method, just charges and goes. On the BMW, I didn't notice, didn't see it on the iX1, I did see it on the iX5, and that is it supports plug and charge. And plug and charge is Ionity's own charging, auto charge type system. And so it could be a big thing. It could be a challenge to Fastned's auto charge and Tesla's charging system. It could fade away and not become anything if it doesn't catch on. It's supported by very few cars at the moment, and not an awful lot of chargers at the moment, mostly Ionity. I've got a feeling it probably will fade away, which is a great shame, because if we can get a system where every charger you go to, every car just plugs in and walks away, that would be fantastic. BMW, they've put it in, fantastic for them. I'd like also to see auto charge, and I think some of the BMWs do support auto charge as well, but it's done through the Fastned app. So all praise to BMW for doing the plug and charge. Let's see if we can get this to spread. I did tell my brother the best car he should buy was, he lives in the States, was a Tesla Model Y. He went and bought a BMW iX4 40 or 50, I can't remember which it was. It was twice the price. He loves it to bits. He'd never go back and even consider a Tesla when that one comes out to lease. Horses for courses. Get what car's right for you. Maybe use some of my information and my findings to guide you along the way, but you choose what is right for you.